The last thing that I taught you was how to factor. For example, if I gave you the quadratic x squared plus 8x plus 15 equals 0, then you would factor this by drawing your factoring chart, which is going to have a times c on top, b on the bottom. You're going to get a number and a number, and these numbers will multiply to be the top number, and they're going to add to be the bottom number. So if we fill this in with these numbers, a is in front of x squared, b is what's in front of x, and c is the constant that's by itself, then a times c is 15, b is going to be 8, and then I need two numbers that multiply to be 15. Let's try 3 and 5. 3 times 5 makes 15, 3 plus 5 makes 8. So these numbers work good as the factors. And then we'll divide by a, which is, since there's nothing in front of x squared, that's why I put 1. It's the number 1. It's not that it's nothing, but there is just 1 x squared for a. So we divide each side by 1, and that's going to give us back the same number. So these side numbers, remember we put them in parentheses with x, exactly how they are with whatever sign they have. So that's a positive 5, it's x plus 5. X plus 3 and x plus 5 are the factors of this, of x squared plus 8x plus 15. And what we started with was equal to 0. So then these factors down here are also equal to 0. If I have two things that are equal to 0, to figure out what x needs to be, we look at the factors individually. So we look at x plus 3 on its own, and we find out what would make that equal to 0. And you look at x plus 5 on its own, and you just have to see what would make this equal to 0. Well, if x plus 3 is equal to 0, you would solve that by subtracting 3 to get x equals negative 3. If x plus 5 is equal to 0, you would solve that by subtracting the 5 to the other side to get x equals negative 5. So it looks like these are two values of x that will work if I plug it into, you could plug it into here, or you could plug it into the top one. For x equals negative 3, I'm going to check my work by plugging in the quadratic, and you could check it by doing it into the first one or the second one. I'll show you that it works either way. So x equals negative 3, let's plug that in to the original from the very start. It was, you plug in x and you square it, plus 8 times x, which is negative 3, plus 15. We want to make sure that this is equal to 0. We don't know. Maybe I made a mistake. Negative 3 squared is 9. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. And then we have that plus 15. 9 plus the 15 makes 24. We still have the negative 24, and 24 minus 24 equals 0, which is what we wanted. So that means that from the original equation at the top, if we plug in the number negative 3, that'll be a solution that ends up being 0, which means we solved it. To show that you could plug in the other factor into this one here, into x plus 3, x plus 5, let's check that one. So if x is equal to negative 5, and my equation is x plus 3, x plus 5 equals 0, maybe, let's plug in negative 5 and see if this works. Negative 5 plus 3, negative 5 plus 5 equals 0. Negative 5 plus 3 would be negative 2, and negative 5 plus 5 gives you 0. So we have negative 2 times 0, and negative 2 times 0 will be 0. So we get 0 equal to 0. That means this is true. Which means that the solutions to x squared plus 8x plus 15 equal to 0 are x equals -3, -5.